What's going on, Taka fan? So today I got a special deck profile. This one's a little bit more fun, and surprisingly, it's actually good, especially in theory. I have some different texts for this deck, but this is more of a budget version that could still compete against cash. There's only like a couple expensive cards in here, but we'll get to it. Alright, so this is Despia. So this is the more fun version. So we got 3 Aluber. This is the only Despia we play. Now we have Albaz and all his friends. So this is different. So we're gonna go with 3 Albaz, 1 Albion, 1 Kit, 2 Mercarier, 2 Cartesia, and a card that a lot of people don't really like, but in this version I think it's actually good, which is 1 Ashen. So Albaz the Ashen is like another copy of Albaz. So technically you're running 5, these 4, and then him. So his effect, he counts as Albaz on the field and grave, which is actually really good. The other effect, if you have a fusion monster, level 8 fusion monster in your grave, he gains 200 attack for all your monsters in your grave, and also your opponent cannot target other monsters you control with card effects, except for him. So there's a soft lock with this card, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. His other effect, which is pretty good, which actually gives him more synergy in this deck, is his graveyard effect. If your opponent makes any of your fusion monsters leap by card effect, you get to summon him back. So he's like another Aluber in the sense where he revives himself, except he revives himself and has a boost. And because you'll have that fusion monster in the grave, he'll also be the only one that can be targeted. But I'll put him to the side for now, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. So I'm just playing the 1 Saronir for this version, just utility, and we wanted to keep the dark count kind of high. Playing the 1 Dark Magician, you don't have to in this version, because I know Dragoon's like about $45–50 right now, but if you want to play like more Saronirs or different Bestials, you can. Just be aware that Bestials aren't very good against cash. And then for like a going second card that's really good, 3 Radiant in this version. We do play Lure Darkness maxed out just because we play so many more Darks now. And just giving this to a cash player going second, it could help you survive. For the spells, basically 3 Albaz and the 3 Aluber. Nothing really changed here. The best cards in your deck, spell-wise. And then for my tech in this deck, I'm playing the 3 High Spirits. So you have an extra target in the Ashen, but you also have the Kit and all the other cards. So these 2 cards synergize really good together. It immediately sets up his revival effect. So you reveal him, and you send any of your fusions to the grave, search whichever piece you need. So we're playing like a couple extenders, aka the Kit. Obviously you want to also have multiple ways to get to Cartesia, so we play that as well. So we're trying to max out on getting to any of our extenders to keep playing. And of course the graveyard effect, it can come back. This is like another 3 Cartesias for this version, or Dark Magician or Albaz, so it's pretty good. It's usually good like going first or second. Going first is typically Cartesia. Going second is a little worse, but it's not that bad because it's just Albaz. Playing the 1 Lost in this version, 1 red, and we decided to include white again. Because once again, this guy, he is a dragon and he is Albaz, so it allows you to fuse. So once you put him in the grave and you just need another way to fuse, at least you know you can always miracle fuse him off. So you can, the combo, quick one, is, like I said before, which is High Spirits plus him. So you High Spirits with him, ditch any of your guys that you want to send or use later. Then in that situation, we'll just search the Kit. And then the Kit adds this to your hand. So now you immediately have a Mirror Jade, because this is Albaz in the grave and then whatever you sent to the graveyard. So you can immediately banish those if you need to. So I think it's really good in this version. Then for consistency, like I said, we're playing a lot more darks, so we're playing 3 Allure. I'm not playing Foolish, but I am deciding to play Gold Sark because of the Mer Carrier. And for another card I play, this card actually comes in handy. Pretty much with another card, it can become any card in your deck. One call by is better when you know you're going first, because this just stops Ash. Going second, if they end on a Rise Heart, this card kind of sucks. It don't do anything. But you can switch it out for anything. And for the traps, I am playing 1 Retribution, and new edition, I'm playing Sword. So this card can set up a lot of OTKs and can help you survive. The goal of this deck, survive as long as you can. And the reason why I was talking about Gold Sark is because of this card. Because Mer Carrier, you banish Mer Carrier, search to shroud it, like the old Tri-Brigade play. You send this to the grave with the big Albion, draw a card, and then you can banish this so that you can add back the Mer Carrier or whichever other card that you might have banished. And it works whenever you banish this guy as well. And then for the extra deck, 2 Mirror Jade, 2 Lubellion, and 2 Albion. This is self-explanatory. You can't change this. They all do come up. And it's really good against Cash, having 2 of those apiece. And for the other Albaz fusions, we're playing 1 Alba, 1 Brigand. This will be important in just a moment. 1 Striking Dragon. I don't do tough summon this that much anymore. I actually value his graveyard effect a lot more. So I think it's good. He also does synergize with the Ashen as well, since he'll be Albaz, and at least this makes your other guys untargetable. But for the most part, you'll be using this to fuse. But most times, whenever I use this, I summon Sprint. Because typically, if you're playing against Cash, they'll special summon a monster, and then you could use this to bring out, like, the Albaz or anything. And since they're turn player, if they got a Fenrir or something, Fenrir will attempt to banish one of your cards, and then you go chain link to the Albaz. And then you just fuse it off into this. And this is important because this clears Birth. Birth is so difficult to get over because it can kill your graveyard effects, and you want to be able to keep moving back and forth every turn if you can, if you don't get rid of this. In worst case, it gets to a kit. And I've said this before, but I finally did it in this version. I'm playing 2 Grand Guignol, another reason for Cash, and this card is really important. And because we're playing so many ways to Cartesia, you could use this so many times. And sometimes if you don't draw the greatest, or you have too many monsters, but you have high spirits, if you open too many spellcasters like Dark Magician, you could just discard it for this, and then search any of the pieces that you need. And then for the 1 target, in this version, we go for Quertus because we aren't playing Super Poly in the main, but that's up to you if you want to, and you could just find something to cut. But this is really good. Like I said, the name of the game is surviving, so this can make everything 0, so you do survive. And then the Chimera, and then the 1 Dragoon. Like I said, if you don't want to play Dragoon because he is expensive, you can play anything else. You can play something like Dragostepelia or anything like that. But the name of the game is Albaz Turbo. If your Brain Infusion doesn't go through, you have other ways to fuse. You just gotta keep that in mind whenever you're playing. And then just the tokens, all the Alubers, Albaz, and Ecclesias. So now, once again, I'll talk about this guy. So this deck actually can take a page out of Paleo's book or Frog's book. So with these 2, you can make a soft lock. So if you summon this guy, he already can't be destroyed by battle. And he makes it to where your opponent can only target this with monster effects. But if you have him on the field, since he can't be targeted by card effects either, or they're forced to target him, they can't target either of them. So this can't die by battle. This gets really big, depending on how many monsters you have in your grave, 200 per. So that can get big really quick. And it's like a little soft lock. So it definitely can help you survive, especially against Kashtira, which is, like I said, is very important for this deck. But this is a good budget version. I think you guys should try it. It's actually really fun. and like being able to play cards like sword and stuff, because this card could just give you like random OTKs, because you just banish as many of the spell and traps that you want to banish, summon that many tokens, so you can flood your field with a bunch of Alubers if you want. It don't really matter. And these tokens are beefy. They're 2,500 and they're 2,000, and they're level 8 Dark Dragons, so that's actually really good. And then being able to use this to get your resources back is actually really good as well. The only problem I can see with this card is like going second, post side potentially, even main deck, people do play evenly. So you just got to be careful. So you're not forced to keep your tokens unless you just want to keep your tokens, which I doubt. But these can all be used for fusion materials. They can all attack the same turn that they're summoned. You can use these to block attacks so that you survive. And then as long as you make it back to the next turn, you should be able to have an OTK, especially since you banish all of those branded spells and traps. Kit can just recur whichever one you want back. All right. Well, guys, that is it for me. I hope you guys enjoy this little budget version. It's very fun. Definitely urge you guys to try it. I've been having a blast playing it and testing it out and just theorying this deck. So if you guys like this, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Leave me a like, share this video with your friends, and just try to be innovative with this deck, but also can still be competitive, especially with this version. And this version is more tiered, like I said, to play a little bit better into the cash matchup, which is very difficult because most people don't know. For some reason, the moment they go into their extra deck against this deck, to me, in my opinion, they lose. The best boards that they can make is just play the cash control just with the regular monsters, just leaving all of them on the board to apply pressure. So that's why we're playing certain cards like the Sprint and stuff like that, so that we can try to circumvent that to get out of that. Okay? All right, thank you guys again for watching. Peace.